Good morning and welcome to the Rapid City Planning Commission meeting for October 7th, 2021. If any member of the audience wishes to speak to an item on the Planning Commission agenda today, there are speaker request forms on the table along the left wall. Please fill out the request with the agenda number of the item you wish to speak to and hand it to the staff seated on the left of the dais. At this time, we would also like to ask that if any member of the audience has a cell phone or other electronic device, that you either turn it off or turn the ringer to silent. If you need to take a call, please step out to the hallway so the meeting is not disrupted. Items 1 and 2 have been placed on the consent calendar today and may be approved as a group. Action will be taken on all consent items in accordance with staff's recommendation by a single vote. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar by any planning commissioner, staff member, or audience member for separate consideration at this time. The findings of this planning commission are recommendations to the city council. The city council will make the final decision. Are there any items, either 1 or 2, that staff would like removed? And are there any items 1 or 2 that the planning commissioner would like removed for separate consideration? And are there any items 1 or 2 that any audience member would like removed for separate consideration? The chair would then entertain a motion to approve items 1 and 2 in accordance with staff's recommendation. All right, Vince made the motion and Rachel seconded that motion. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3.
Thank you, Chair. This is item number 3, 21 UR 008. It is a major amendment to a conditional use permit to allow on sale in conjunction with the expansion of a casino. You may be familiar that back in July, there was another conditional use permit approved for this property to allow on sale in conjunction with a 2,000 square foot casino. The applicant has since obtained an additional license and is looking to expand to 3,000 square feet within a proposed strip mall. The zoning of the property is general commercial, and the future land use is mixed use commercial. This map will give you an idea of where it's located off the intersection of Elkvale Road and Homestead Street. More specifically, it's located on Timmins Boulevard. And here you can see a site plan showing the proposed strip mall. The casino will operate the southernmost of those 3 suites. There will be a total of 7,000 square feet making up the strip mall with a proposed 7,000 square foot suites. The applicant is proposing 2 signs. This is a building sign that is 4 foot by 8 foot. And there's also a proposed sign for the strip mall that is 12 foot by 6 foot and 30 feet in height total. The applicant is aware that any addition of an LED sign would require a major amendment to the conditional use permit. He has expressed interest in potentially putting an LED sign up in the future. Here are site photos. So this is the this is looking at the property. This is looking east from Timmins Boulevard. This is looking to the north toward the car wash and Goodwill store. This is looking to the south toward Homestead Street. This is looking to the northwest toward Timmins Market, and then to the southwest towards the Black Hills Federal Credit Union. And I'm available if you have any questions.
Thank you for the presentation. Any questions for staff on this item? Any comments? All right, Karen made the motion to approve item number 3 with the stipulations as listed. And Mike Gallagher seconded that motion. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4.
Thank you. Item number 4 is 21UR019. It is a major amendment to a conditional use permit to expand on-sale liquor in conjunction with a golf course. More specifically, this is the Meadowbrook Golf Course located on Jackson Boulevard. There is existing on-sale on the property within Marco's Restaurant, which is located right here. That on-sale is considered non-conforming since it's been in place since before 1993. This expansion is to include a beverage cart that would operate throughout the entire golf course. And the proposed beverage cart would be operated by city staff. The entire golf course is 165 acres in size. And since no structures are being proposed as a part of this conditional use permit request, no floodplain development permit is required. So as you can see on the map here, there are 3 zoning districts on the property. The northern part, which is shown in blue, that is flood hazard. The area in green is park forest, and that little area in yellow in the southern part is low density residential 1. Future land use is forest conservation. And you can see that Jackson Boulevard is classified as a principal arterial street on the major street plan. This is the site plan that the applicant submitted along with their application showing the pathways throughout the entire golf course. The proposal is for a beverage cart which will include on-sale beer and wine and will go throughout the golf course. It will operate from about sunrise to sundown daily, but that may be expanded for special events. This is an image of what the beverage cart will look like. And then here are the site photos. This is looking to the south from the parking lot toward the golf course. And this is another view showing the golf cart parking. This is looking to the southwest. This is the existing clubhouse where Marco's Pizza is located, where the existing on-sale is, and you can see that the sign has been posted. This is looking to the west down Jackson Boulevard. And then this is looking to the east on Jackson Boulevard, and then looking to the north. Now here we have Meadowbrook Elementary, which is that building you see in the distance here. One of the criteria that staff reviews when reviewing on-sale requests is this within 500 feet of a school, of a church, of a daycare? And in this case, there is a school neighboring the property. There's also a church within a block. There's also a daycare within a block of the property. Staff does not anticipate any adverse impacts from the beverage cart toward the school, as there is an existing fence in place and there's expansive landscaping. So here's another view from the school. You can see that there's a row of trees that would help buffer any on-sale from the school. And there's an existing 6-foot fence. And I'm available if you have any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? I do have a speaker request on this item. Haven?
Just to clarify here, apparently they've never operated a beverage cart before at Meadowbrook, I assume?
Mr. Chair,
Vicki?
potentially we could get Doug or, thank you.
And then the other question was that the way I understand it then, that this particular request really is just to expand their existing license to allow for the beverage cart. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then maybe could explain why it's before 1993, I understand, but why is it illegal non-conforming, the current license?
Mr. Chair,
Vicki?
before 93, you did not have to secure a conditional use permit in order to operate on-sale liquor. So we have several businesses in town that fall under that category. In 93, it was identified that you had to secure a conditional use permit in order to have on sale. So all those uses that existed before that date automatically were deemed legal nonconforming. If they expand, they then need to secure a conditional use permit for that expansion. And that's why we're here today. And just so that you're aware, there was a previous conditional use permit for the restaurant within the clubhouse when they did initiate on sale with that use. And then this again is expanding it. And if they chose to do anything else with on sale, you would see another major amendment in the future. Whenever you expand the use, it comes before the Planning Commission.
I think you're Christy. If you could identify yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Christy Lentz. I'm currently the operations manager for Meadowbrook Golf Course. I've been with the Rapid City Parks and Rec Department since 2004. The current permit that is being held with Marco's Pizza does include the beverage cart operations as it exists. That license was with the City of Rapid City prior and was transferred over to Marco's when they got the lease. It is in their contract to run the beverage cart on the property. It is our intent to take over that piece of the operations and have that management be underneath the City of Rapid City again. So we're not necessarily expanding operations as far as what they're currently doing. We're just taking over management of that piece of what's going on the actual golf course. So we're wanting to pull a beverage license so that we can operate that.
Mr. Chair?
Vicki?
So that was not clear to staff when we accepted this application. There was some language in the letter of intent that did identify that they were working with Marcos on the lease agreement, but it was not clear that there was a beer cart already on the golf course. With that being said, I don't know that this conditional use permit is even required. The lease agreement as to who operates it is moot. What you're reviewing is just the use itself. I'll defer to Kinsley, but if there was a on-sale liquor at the restaurant, now known as Marco's, and they had a beer cart on the golf course, and that initiated before 93, just the fact that who's operating the beer cart really shouldn't trigger a major amendment to the conditional use.
Kinsley, you're on the spot.
There we go. Correct. I'd say if it was happening before 93, then it wouldn't need any sort of a change. It would be legal nonconforming.
So, Mr. Chair, I would ask Christy, did the beer cart, was it in operation before 93?
It was before my time.
Yeah, that's before my time too, so as far as...
Can I follow up with a question that's maybe more recent? A lot of times these things, if they go out of use for a certain amount of time, then they're deemed to be not legal non-conforming anymore. But if the use stopped, like has Marco's been running this beer cart continuously since they took over the lease?
Mr. Chair, you are correct that if a use is legal nonconforming and it ceases for a period of 1 year or more, then it loses its legal nonconforming status. I'll defer to Doug.
Doug Lowe, Recreation Division Manager. I know that for the past 12 years it's been running, and that's when I've been involved with the golf course. It's been held by different organizations. It's been held by us. It's been held by Marco's. It's been held by a couple of the other people that rented it before. Mike Derby, when he ran the restaurant there, they had beer license there, so it just kind of transfers to whoever takes over the lease. So I would say if it's been there since 1993, I'm sure that they've been running a golf beverage cart on the course the whole time that the course has been running, but I guess I cannot confirm that that's 100% sure.
But you can speak to the last 12 years?
Yeah, okay. Yes, I can.
All right, it makes an interesting question. I want to make sure we get the speaker request in, so I'm going to go to that. But I would say I'd be interested to know what we should do with this item if we're not, if we don't have an application to approve that's.
Yeah, I don't think that we would need an application to approve a use that initiated and sustained use before 93. I just visited with Michael Howard, who's a golfer, but he hasn't golfed this course in a while, to validate that it's something that he's seen since he's been in town. Commissioner Bullman, you're a golfer. Shed any light on this?
Thank you, Vicki. I know that there was a golf cart out there. I mean, they did have on-site, cart going around when I was golfing. I can't guarantee that it was 1993 before, because I don't remember exactly what years, but I know through the 90s I golfed a lot, and there was always a cart out there, traveling around. But I don't know who owned it or who did it. I think almost every golf course has some kind of golf cart at some point, and I can't imagine that this would be obsolete to not have one. I mean, it just doesn't seem right. I was confused by the staff report too in the letter, because I kept thinking, well, is Marcos giving them the beer, or how does that work? But now it's clear in what they're doing. So I don't know if you need to research that, but I don't even know how you could research something like that.
Chair, I think what we need to do is hear from the speaker request, and then continue this item for 2 weeks. We will do some research and come back with you with either a recommendation or an acknowledgement that the application is withdrawn, or bring forward a requirement that you act on it. I don't think we can guess on this
That sounds safer than acting on it without knowing for sure.
And it doesn't appear that it's going to change the use that's existing on the property right now. So I don't think it would.
I can elaborate on that.
Kristen?
It is our intent, thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's our intent to actually take over operations of the beverage cart next year. Marco's Pizza, within our contract, operates from the beginning of May, end of April through October 1st. So we have ceased operations of the beverage cart for the season. So we do have plenty of time to go through this and navigate as you need.
All right, I'm going to call up Patty Driver, if you'd like to come up.
My question's actually already been answered, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
good, thank you.
All right.
Mr. Chair, with
Thank
that,
you for
our
coming.
recommendation would be to continue to the October 20th Planning Commission, 21st Planning Commission meeting.
All right. Rachel?
I just have kind of one question, and it seems really kind of in the weeds, but maybe we could get clarification on this if the application comes back. So where it says staff has reviewed issues, it's number 5 at the bottom, so it'd be the bottom of page 5. Parks and Rec is working with the DOT to allow for temporary signage. Something about a parking plan which complies with the city's parking regulations. It sounds like an either or, like must relocate the drivers or bring forward a parking plan. And I just want confirmation that we're not going to have some sort of approval of cars being back in front of that garage. Does that make sense? Do you understand my question?
Mr. Chair?
Vicki?
I think so, and just so that you're aware, the team has identified to Marcos that that area was created and it has been approved for use for a loading, unloading area of products such as food supply, beverage supply, and they've been operating it accordingly since the last meeting. They have secured alternate spaces for the pizza drivers outside of the previous area that you heard testimony on in regards to a variance for a fence across the street. And so we'll continue to work through that issue too. If it does appear that that is the right location for those drivers, they could expand that area and bring in a parking lot that complies with city design standards, but it's not really directly associated with the use, because remember, this is a conditional use permit specific to the on-sale liquor.
Okay, thank you.
And may I?
Sure, Patty, come on up.
Sorry about that.
Again, just for our records, identify
Yep.
yourself.
Patty Driver, the resident at said such property across from Marcos. And they have been, we did take our fence down at the moment while we're negotiating how we're going to do something in front of our yard. Barring a couple of drivers who just seem to have their feet in the sand, they have stopped parking thus in that area that they're not supposed to be parking in. So only a couple of runners had a couple of bang on the hood moments with a couple of drivers in the last 2 weeks. So much better than it was. Thank you.
Glad to hear that. Safer for the bike path, for sure.
Can I, one more?
Rachel?
So just, I guess, another question for staff. I live in the area, and so I drive by every day just to work and everything like that. If I do start noticing that things are slipping, what's the avenue for addressing the issue?
So certainly you could reach out to the Parks Department, Park and Rec Department. This team they take great responsibility and manage their sites extremely well. You can reach out to any one of us and we'll transfer that information forward, but the correct answer would probably be call code enforcement, but since we're also familiar with this, please feel free to just contact us.
Christy?
Mr. Chair, if I may. If you see something specifically on the golf course or within Marcos, I would request that you just give me a call at the clubhouse and talk to me directly. Since I do have direct contact with Marcos and items regarding their lease, I can certainly get on top of it fairly quickly. So either through email or just call the clubhouse and ask for myself.
Karen?
Somebody answered my question.
Okay, Karen. Vince?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Rachel kind of reviewed everything that I wanted to review, and I was wondering myself the follow-up as to what was going on with this parking space. I'm curious as to, again, there could be a lapse, not that there ever would be, but why isn't there a sign that this is for loading zone only, no parking, put in that particular spot? Anybody?
Mr. Chair, I
Vicki?
think the answer has been that there's alternate spaces for the delivery drivers. Those have been labeled as their spaces or will be. Are you guys, I know that this, because of the location of the right-of-way up against a state highway, getting permission from DOT, is that something that's ongoing, or are you still wanting to reserve those spaces? How is that working? Are you just striping them so that people know they can't, that golfers can't park there?
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Chrissy?
Right now, they're currently labeled with paint on the actual space itself on the ground, 1 hour parking only. We are seeking some different avenues to try to label them differently. The issue is that it is really close to the state highway, so there's some restrictions on permanent signage in that area. So we are looking at different avenues with Marcos to get some sandwich board signs that they can take in and out during the day, and temporary signage issues to help mark those space for their delivery drivers. As far as the existing loading and unloading, I believe it's under the same restrictions. There's not a real feasible place to put a sign for that. That parking area loading goes right up to the building and right off to the deck area. So I can certainly do some research on it, but right now we're just focusing on trying to get their temporary signage up for the delivery drivers.
Can I ask for a little clarity? When you say the signage for the delivery drivers, you're talking about signage in a new location, not in that
Correct.
loading and unloading zone.
Correct.
So you're working with DOT to sign something my directions are terrible here, but further down Jackson towards the city in your main parking lot for the delivery drivers, and then the drive that they were using is still going to remain unloading and loading only.
Correct.
Okay.
Can you bring up the parking?
We have anything that zoomed in on
The picture to the west of the parking lot. So right on this picture here, you can see in the entrance, there's one vehicle going into the driveway area. So from that next vehicle that is parked, those first 10 spaces going to the east are what is currently labeled 1 hour parking with spray paint on the ground. And so we're looking at trying to find some other temporary signage that is a little bit more visible that says delivery only or delivery drivers only.
Patty?
Patty, thank you. The dumpster, they have it, because it's a restaurant, they have a dumpster. They've got it in a case, it's fenced in. I know most commercial dumpsters have that do not block, but it's not visible on the dumpster because it's encased in a fence. So, I mean, it'd be one thing that's in that load-unload area.
Yeah, that's a good way to find a spot for a sign.
Yeah, so.
Thank you. Karen, or do you have anything? Okay. Eric Hikas?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to reiterate Commissioner Vince's comments about the loading area that we're talking about, not the new area, but the existing area that they were using previously. It does back out onto a DOT highway, but also crosses a major mixed-use bike ped path. And there is some inherent risk there, I think, with vehicles not being able to straighten out and prepare to make the approach. They're literally backing across. I thought a lot about it after our meeting. They're backing across a very busy bike and pedway that there is a potential for pedestrian vehicular conflict for. That's life safety, and that's a big part of our consideration, I think, too. So just putting that out there. Thank you.
Okay. Rachel made the motion to continue item number 4 to October 20th. And 21st? My notes are terrible. And Vince seconded the motion to continue to October 21st. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, that's the end of the regular agenda today. Discussion items, staff items.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So our only reminder is that this is the meeting where you elect your officers. And so that everyone is aware, Eric Braun is currently the chair, Rachel Caesar is the vice chair, and Karen Bullman is the secretary. You can take nominees going up or down, whichever you prefer, and we will need you to seat those 3 positions again today. They will then start, whoever you elect will be taking over at the next meeting. As a reminder, the secretary doesn't actually have secretarial duties, but if the chair and vice chair are unavailable, they do chair the meeting. So it is an important position.
And every once in a while they have to sign something, right? Every once in a while. All right, well, we'll start at chairman. I'd open nominations for that.
I make a motion.
All right, thank you. That's very nice. Karen made the motion and Vince seconded the motion. Any discussion on the motion or nomination? All those in favor, please say aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, vice chair. All right, Vince made the motion to have Rachel as vice chair, and Eric Heike seconded that motion. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And secretary, is there a nom? All right, Rachel nominated Karen. And Kelly seconded that motion. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. We stand as we are today. Thank you all. I appreciate it. All right, Karen made the motion to adjourn, and Rachel seconded that motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.